Tylko żeby nie było tak głośno, Pani Stanisławie, prosimy troszkę głośniej dać tę muzykę, tak żeby w tle coś grało, ale nie przesadnie głośno.
Balansu bieli nie mogę ustawić.
No weź jeszcze raz.
Teraz poczekaj. No i na 11 mam takie ustawienie.
Teraz chyba?
Nie wiem, czy gajmu na 0,3.
So ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start horse riding event. We would like to invite on a horse riding
We'll be on at least once, so I'll just check it. Double check it.
And your
You're
hands are
fine.
going crazy.
Right, you don't have any green crap in your teeth, you're good.
No?
You're good.
Cool.
Martinez, Nogueira, Beaver, Coleman, Diegues, Hernandez, Alexandrova, Kalzova, Alexiev, Reti, Shanabon, Schlu, Noveska, Skarzynska. Gotta get this right, she's the hometown girl. Skarzynska.
Is it Novaka or Novaka?
Novaska. The C is a S. Novaska. I announced her name a zillion times in Florida. Skarzynska. It's a J. Skarzynska. Alexander. Here we are, first rider. So here we are, this is the third discipline of the Women's World Championships Women's Relay here in Warsaw, Poland. Our first team be from Mexico. The relay is an interesting event. Here with Heather Fell, Rob Stull from the United States, Heather from Great Britain. Heather has a great, tremendous riding background. So Heather, what do you think about the women's relay?
Well, it's really open still, this competition. I mean, the fencing was quite close this morning. Swimming seems to have made it even closer, so this riding is going to be quite a crucial event today. Yes, having said that, this first team in here, the Mexicans, are a long way behind. The two first teams we will see in the arena are bringing up the rear, but they've still got points to be made.
Yeah, and the Mexicans typically are decent riders. They come from a strong riding program in Mexico. First athlete from Mexico is Martinez. Thelma Martinez, she's from Mexico City. It's an 8-jump course. Both riders will ride the 8 jumps, the 8 obstacles.
Now she's setting off at a very steady pace. It'll be interesting to find out if they're inside the time or not. It's always hard to know on the first few riders to gauge exactly how tight the time is going to be, and obviously they get time penalties for every second they are over the allowed time, and that's got to be balanced out with not wanting to go too fast, because more importantly they want to have a clear round, not knocking any fences down and not having any
and there we go.
Any mistakes.
Yeah, we've got a stop there. Fence number 7.
I think that could actually go hand in hand with the fact that it is a little bit slow and lacking energy. It's not just about speed, but she could have done with a little bit more energy going into that fence. It was a spread, and she just didn't really have enough leg on.
Looked really heavy there, didn't he? And she was riding Herrero, and Herrero was clean in the schooling round. Again, these horses, is the second time they've seen the course. They went around once in what's called the jury ride, or the schooling round. Got a lot more speed here on Nogueira from Mexico, her teammate.
She's got in a little bit closer. That looked uncomfortable. And I'm not sure if the speed is entirely under control. Yeah, she's looking like she's got her hands full here, and I think that maybe she's a little bit out-horsed.
Yeah,
he seems quite strong and forward-going, and she's just, you can see there, really leaning forwards on his neck and isn't very well balanced.
No, and she let him just pull out there 2 strides ahead of time.
Getting left behind over that fence as well, so they're just not quite a partnership here. It doesn't look smooth like it should.
It's not a happy marriage, and as you know, the pentathlon, in the sport of pentathlon, the riding is done by random selection, and basically a lottery, and there we got another run out on 8. So what you're hoping is that you get a happy marriage between the horse and rider. And the athletes have 20 minutes in the warm-up arena with their horses. And in 20 minutes, you don't have time to teach the horse anything. You've just got to figure out what makes him work.
And again, that horse was focused, and he'd only had one knockdown in the warm-up round. So that proves that maybe they didn't have a bad draw, but the riding was a little bit stretched for them.
Let's talk a little bit about the horses. The horses here are frankly, the schooling round was quite good. The course designer is Andrzej Żyzewski, who is believe it or not, he's actually, in his spare time, he is a film actor in Poland. He's done a lot of movies. I imagine he's done a lot of stunt work, but he's one of the more preeminent Polish course designers and a long-time Polish coach with the national team. Horses are mostly out of the Polish training camp or training center in Żonków near Zielona Góra, also out of the training area here in Warsaw. And we're talking to you from AWF, which is the Polish Olympic Training Center and Sports School. So it's a great facility. And so the horses are provided they're either owned by Polish Pentathlon or they are acquired privately. So there are some private stables in the area. We have your neighbors coming in, Heather. We have the Irish.
Yes, we've got Jenny McGeever riding first, and then her teammate Kate Coleman-Lenahan taking over in the second round. Now the Irish are of riding stock, so I just had a quick chat to their coach beforehand, and he's discussing how to take the corners. We're going for hopefully the flowing rounder option. There was a few debates. Some of the nations like to keep it tight on the time, but hopefully this will be a smooth round, and we'll get to see some good riding skills, because this is an event that Ireland should excel at, and it's something that the majority of the Irish pentathletes have come into the sport through Pony Club and through the horse riding side of it.
And I noticed many of the athletes we have running concurrently with our event is the World Equestrian Games, and out of Normandy, France. And I know a lot of people were watching the show jumping event on the big screen today while they were waiting to start this event. So she's clean over 2. Good start.
He's got in a little bit close there and took that front pole out with his front feet. It's unfortunate, but she needed to just set back and brought him back a little bit beforehand.
You can always tell the riders coming from the eventing background. They come out there with their flak jackets and their eventing caps. I've always found that interesting.
She's got a nice rhythm at the moment. Got that striding perfectly.
Yeah.
That's a related distance. Those two fences are separate fences, but they are related in distance, and she got that just right. So now taking over her teammate, Coleman-Lenahan. Clear so far.
Yeah.
And that was almost the curse of the commentator.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That was a really good move on her part. She went to the whip at just the right moment. Encouragement. Oh. And
this is looking. Who have we got here? Catania. Now, only 2 knockdowns in the warm-up round, but he's looking a little challenging to ride.
he might have woken up on the wrong side of the stall this morning. Might not just be his day. Doesn't look like Kate is doing anything particularly wrong.
She's just taking a little bit of time now. I'm not sure if she's struggling, because the clock does not stop, so the clock is ticking, and she'll be racking up those time penalties the longer she takes.
Coaches are definitely taking note. I mean, this is the first day of what's going to be a long week of World Championship events here in Warsaw. So these horses will be used repeatedly over the course of the week.
Russians will be noticing this horse because Ekterina Koshkina will be riding this in the second round, and riding is not one of her strongest disciplines either, so she's going to be feeling a little nervous watching this, I think.
Yeah, her hands are a little high here. She's a little handsy with this.
Yeah, just getting away from her there.
Yeah, she just needs to get done, and she is.
Not quite the round that
No.
I was expecting there, and I'm sure they'll be disappointed as well.
Again, you've got the, this is the first time out for these horses today. They're from the area, but still, again, it's day one of a long week, and I think you've got first round jitters for the horses as well as the riders.
Yeah, I mean, the horses need to be very fresh at this stage because they've got many days to go, and if they're very calm and a little bit subdued already, then they probably wouldn't survive the week. So it's good to see them looking fresh and a bit challenging, but the girls are probably wishing they maybe weren't riding first today.
No question, this is not the place to be the first riders, not the day. But so far, we've got Guatemala will be the next team in the arena, and the Guatemalans, these particular Guatemalans, they're young, they're youngsters. One's the youngest female athlete in the competition today, actually, 17 years old. That's Sofia Hernandez, and she'll be riding second. But they come from a fairly strong riding background in Guatemala.
It'll be interesting to see, because actually the horse that Hernandez is on is the first horse coming in that's already had a refusal in its test jumping. So
that's right.
In theory, the most difficult horse we will have seen so far today, but it'll be interesting to see how she does with that. And it can sometimes be an advantage because she'll know which fence that it stopped at previously and she'll maybe ride it a little bit stronger.
Absolutely. She'll be a lot more aggressive, and she's not going to take anything for granted, I'm sure.
The bell goes, they've got 30 seconds from the start of the bell, so they have to leave the changeover pen where they're both at the moment.
Yeah, we called out the box, and the teammate will wait in the box till the first rider completes the course and rides into the box, and the moment the horse's tail crosses the line of the box, the second rider can leave. And we have
now she hasn't started convincingly. The way she left the starting pen, there just wasn't that much momentum and energy, and she's being a bit of a passenger.
Yeah, she is. And I was being so complimentary before we began today.
So 2 refusals at fence 2, then you move on to the next obstacle. So you only have 2 approaches at each fence.
And she may have a challenging round to actually complete here, past the beautiful Peugeot car out there in the middle of the parkour.
Now, interestingly, she's not carrying a riding crop. She's trying to use her reins, it looked like a moment ago, to encourage the horse. But
they've been eliminated. They have 4 refusals.
Very sad. So as a result, that means her teammate doesn't get to ride.
And they have definitely given notice for the athletes in the second round, which will be the team from the United States have drawn those 2 horses, so I think they have their work cut out for them.
Having said that, she had her hands incredibly high and just didn't look part of the horse, or didn't look very relaxed from the very start, from the way she left that starting pen. So maybe she'd had a bad warm-up. It's very hard to know from only seeing what we see in the arena, but I'm sure the coaches will have a think about that and see if they want to look at the reserve horses.
They'll have an opportunity to consider. Again, so we have 15 teams in today's competition, and the first 8 teams will go in the first round, and then the same horses will be used in the second round for teams numbered 9 through 15. And only 24 points, which is the same as 24 seconds, separate the top 6 teams. So the second round is going to be very exciting as it sets everybody up for the final event, the combined, which is laser shooting and running, which is always very exciting. And Kazakhstan has entered the arena. Alexandrova from Kazakhstan, she's riding Ikar. And let's see if Ikar runs like a car.
Well, we haven't yet seen a perfectly smooth round.
You know, the ground, as I walked the course earlier today, the ground's a little on the mushy side. They've had some rain here recently. So it's nice grass footing, but it's soft.
I guess that's good with the horses competing all week, that limits any jarring that they might get from doing lots of jumping. As long as it doesn't cut up too badly by the time it comes to the final by next weekend.
Well, if we have more rounds like we had from Guatemala, it won't cut it up at all. But they're getting off to a good start here, Kazakhstan.
It looks like speed's not going to be a problem.
No, she's
taking that pole with her and really struggling to bring him back before the fence there. It's these related distances that she might struggle if she lets him get too fast.
Yeah, she's trying to check him in front of the fence to control speed. Last two fences. Little trouble on the curve there. Ooh, crow hopped over that.
Took out half a stride, but
Yeah, and she's done.
he
Next,
saved her.
absolutely. And the transition there is a little bit on the slow side, so they're not too worried about speed.
Well, we haven't yet seen a purely clear round, so it's hard to know how the time is, but by the speed of that last round, I don't think they're going to be having a
No.
problem at the moment.
Her teammate here is Daria Kalzova, who had a tremendous fencing round. She's a brilliant fencer. Pulled the rail there.
Now, interestingly, Brava did actually have, the horse that she's on, did actually have a stop in the practice round. So, well, she just managed to solve that one.
Yeah. Two fences remaining.
Yeah, and that pole was certainly rattled, but it's
Mhm.
rattled and stayed in its cups.
Got to get his attention. She does. Pull up a little too much speed. In fact, a lot too much speed. Pulled both rails 7 and 8. Each obstacle going down is a 7-point deduction, which equates to 7 seconds, which in the grand scheme of things is very, very critical as these athletes are setting themselves up for the combined event.
You can see they've still got their hands full. These horses are very fresh.
Yeah.
Even lost their stirrup.
I think Brouwer, Kalzova on Brouwer. I think Brouwer really wants to get back to the barn.
But it's good to see that Broward, yes, he had a couple of poles down, but no refusals. And that just proves that, yes, it might have happened in the test event, but those riders will be aware of that and can sometimes
Sure.
ride stronger and accordingly.
So we've got Hungary as our next team in. There are the Gubernator. We're going to watch the horses from Hungary has drawn, or the Gubernator and Quicksilver. So you have Tamara Alexiev from Hungary. She'll be riding Gubernator, the first rider in. Her teammate, Camilla Reti, she'll be riding Quicksilver. So they salute, and they're headed back to the box to start the course.
Now the riders will have chosen the order they go in with their coaches, and it depends on the theory. Some athletes like to, if it's the weaker rider, maybe they go first so that they don't get too nervous waiting in the box and circling, and they can keep that momentum and get straight into it. Others prefer to put the weaker rider last in case they have more problems and they've already got one round in the bag.
It's interesting. This team is actually a very young team. This is the 3rd and 4th position athletes on the Hungarian team that are entered here in the women's relay event. Their teammate Sofia Foldhazy is their big star for this World Championships, and she's on the sidelines watching. So far, so good.
She has lost a stirrup there, but
She's
doesn't seem to be
keeping going.
phasing her.
No, she's electing not to pick it up. And 2 fences remaining, clear on 7, and she's clean on 8. She'll do the transition.
That's the most controlled round I've seen so far today.
So Camilla Reti on course, riding Quicksilver. Oh, that was he thought twice about that fence.
Not quite straight. I think she was starting to take that corner before she'd got to the fence, and yes, you're always looking ahead, but you've got to make sure that you're straight for that fence and in the centre.
Right.
Don't think she corrected herself well enough. You need to overcompensate. If you've run out one direction, you need to then keep a little bit further to the right hand side as she ran out to the left, and she just didn't make that correction, and the same mistake happened again.
And she's not carrying a stick either, which she probably could have used on that fence.
Yeah, definitely a tap on the shoulder would have probably got her out of that second refusal.
Well, actually, you know what?
No, she hasn't. She's got it on the left-hand side.
She is carrying a stick, and that was the side he ran out on. And she completes the course, so they've got a few point deductions.
Yeah, probably a frustrating ride for Hungary.
Absolutely. So far, we've had, I think, a fair amount of frustration for just about everybody who's come in out of the first 5 teams.
But I think actually now the 6th team currently in the standings are in seconds-wise 46 points off the lead. Now with them riding and the combined to go, I think we're now reaching the stage where things can really make a difference. And yes, Germany are in 10th, who are coming in next, but I don't expect them to still be in 10th by the end of the riding and the combined. And I think we're getting into the more exciting stage.
Yeah, well, you hit the nail on the head with Germany. I mean, their first rider on course will be Lena Schönebaum. Lena's the 2008 Olympic gold medalist from Beijing. She clearly has a tremendous amount of experience and expertise. So, and you're right, Germany's 46 seconds out of the lead. So I'm sure we'll be looking to see them move up in the standings.
So interesting riding hats Germany have. I can't say I've seen these before though.
Well, I think they were off to a hockey game.
Yeah, not quite your traditional riding hat you'd expect to see.
So Lena's the lead off, and of course her teammate Annika Schlu wearing their military uniform, clearly in the German army. And generally the athletes wear hunt coats and boots and riding breeches and so forth, as would be expected. But if you're in the military, you have the right to wear your military uniform, given the tradition and history of the sport.
And it's great to see that the military does support such sports, and with our heritage with them, it's great that they're supporting these athletes to be able to train and fit in their responsibilities as well.
The U.S. team, for example, our men's team is made up entirely of U.S. Army athletes.
Now Lena Schönebaum on Kakan is keeping a tidy round at the moment.
Yeah, again, lots of experience. So she's clean over her 8 jumps.
Very nice round.
And handing off to Annika Schlu, begins her round. Of course, a little full of himself there.
Yeah, he looks like one that would like to be going
a lot faster.
Or cross country, maybe.
Right. And it cost her a rail there on the second fence.
She's going to be hoping to get him to relax, but in between, so not at his pace, but you want the horse to be relaxed, but you don't want it to be going too fast and flatten over the fences. But then you also don't want it fighting with its head in the air, and it'll take poles out that way as well. So it's quite a balance with a horse like this.
Sure. Not easy. And those distances, they are related fences, and it's a long 4 or a short 5, and interesting to watch the athletes adjust. Oh, he got some air there. And 8, and Germany's done.
That's definitely the best round we've seen so far today, and that could end up being quite crucial depending on what we've got to come. But from what we've seen so far, things could change quite a lot if we see some more mistakes in the riding that we've seen up until now.
And our next team in the arena is going to try to upset everything. This is the hometown team. We've got Poland will be entering the arena, and they are championed by Octavia Nowacka. Octavia has had a breakout season this year. She's really 22 years old, come out of, I won't want to say nowhere, but what I've seen is her results this season have far exceeded. She won the World Cup final,
yeah,
for
she's
example.
currently ranked second in the world to Olympic and world champion, and ranked number 1. So she's right up there in the mix. And from just her first year, she's proven it's not just one-offs.
Oh yeah,
she's one of those consistent athletes.
Like I said, she's had a breakout year. Her teammate is Alexandra Skarshinska. Alexandra's, I think she's having a great time. It's nothing like competing at home, especially at something like a World Championships or an Olympic Games.
That's one thing about a relay as well. It does give those younger athletes a great opportunity to compete at the top level. There's no semi-final, so all the athletes who have entered and have qualified for the team event will get to do the riding.
Right, because in the individual, of course, you have to advance from the semi-final to be able to get on a horse. The semi-final only consists of the 4 events, 4 disciplines, not riding. Nowacka from Poland in her military uniform and wearing that flak jacket. It's actually a very important protective vest. She may have had an experience at some point in her life.
You can tell the crowd are completely silent. It's only a Monday here, so it is a fairly quiet day, but there will be some Polish out there supporting and sitting on the edge of their seats right now.
And she looks good. She's well in hand and has got a decent pace, and I'll bet you she probably speaks Polish to this horse.
And she might well have ridden this horse before as well,
Very
so
well.
even more of an advantage.
Certainly.
And with the big championship coming up, I expect the Polish riders were focusing on riding these horses as much as they could, that
Sure.
the ones that they might well get to end up competing on.
Especially horses that were owned by the Polish Pentathlon Federation. Here's Skarszinska on her round, so Nowaska was clean, and you're going to hear this crowd go bonkers if she pulls this off and gets through the next 6 fences clean.
Well, it looks a nice
Round going
nice
on.
rhythm, and she looks very much in control. The horse looks happy, and they've met all the fences on a lovely stride so far.
It's got a good seat. Oh, it looks like she pulled it right off her back.
She just took on there.
Oh, 2.
Got the stride wrong. I think taking that first pole then
Right, upset her.
unbalanced the horse slightly, unbalanced her, and they just didn't quite get it back in time for that second related distance fence. And the final jump,
And 8.
so that's just
Double
2 down
head.
for the poles.
That'll be 14 penalty points. I tell you, you got to love the Polish names of their horses, Poseidon and Calypso.
Quite a mixture in here. Quicksilver stands out as less of a Polish horse. Maybe he was imported for the event.
Quicksilver, I think that's a surfing term.
Definitely a surfing brand, so I presume it comes from something
It does.
far away from horses.
So the next team in the arena is going to be the Czech Republic. The riders are Barbora Kadetova. She'll be riding Guardiana. And her teammate will be up on Le Dauphine, and it's Lucy Gorlikova. So you've got Kadetova and Gorlikova from the Czech Republic will be entering the arena. And this will be the last team in the first round. So you'll see these horses coming back again.
Now, you earlier talked about how we had some of the youngest athletes competing, and actually Lucy is one of the oldest athletes, and I think retired for a short while when I was competing, and it's good to see that she's come back and she's still, she's still performing, and they're currently in the middle of the field. So again, the ride for them at this point is when it starts to become quite crucial.
Well, the Olympics only being 2 years away, she may have had that itch, to come back. So here's Kadetova on course, approaching fence 1. Got a nice rhythm.
She's got nice low hands, which is nice to see. A few of them in the first round could see those hands rising up, and it just encourages the horse to lift its head too much as well. So the horse has got a lovely head carriage here, and Barbara's got a nice soft hand that's not interfering. It's just giving him the right messages.
And she's just taking him around like a hunter. Nice rhythm, hardly breaking stride for the fences.
Just slightly concerned that it's very controlled, and she might need to pick up the speed a little bit just to avoid any of those time faults adding up.
And the last fence for her. She's back to the exchange. She's clean on her round. She'll be handing off to Gorlikova.
Oh, and what a poor start. Now this can sometimes be the difficulty. You've been in that box, all you have is a small circle in which to keep your horse moving, and you need to get the momentum. It's a very straight line out of the box to that first fence, and she maybe just didn't quite wake him up enough.
You've got to get their attention going into the first fence. I've seen that happen so many times.
And it's incredibly frustrating when it does happen. It happened to me once, and I just remember being incredibly embarrassed more than anything else, because it was purely rider error and I just wasn't awake enough, and I expect Lucy will be feeling slightly similar.
And the first fence is almost always designed to be one of the easiest, if not the easiest fence
Exactly.
on course.
That's what makes it that much more
Exactly.
frustrating.
The course designers like to get the horse into the course and into their rhythm. So the first fence is typically the easiest. Yeah, she puts some leg on, gets some speed, and she's approaching the final fence.
As she redeemed herself, she'll be making that first fence refusal even more frustrating because it would have been a clear round. Well, that concludes our first round, so most of these horses will be coming back in again with the second set of athletes. So we'll be moving into the second round with the leading team competing last, so we have to wait until the end to see China, and it's when it starts to get really exciting.
Well,
Because it's the top 7 teams, and
yeah.
as you said earlier, just 24 seconds dividing all of them, and we've seen how much difference the riding has been making so far.
Yeah, 24 seconds is very, very little. If they continue at this rate, and perhaps the points get even a little closer than that, you're going to have one heck of an exciting combined final event for this women's relay. So you're right, we got the last 7 teams. It's a break. It's a break. How long? 5 minutes. So we're off. I don't think it matters.